All right, what's up, guys? Here we are, Eli and Mike again with an amazing and actually most amazing, not just boxer. He's done so many different things in business, but Mikey Garcia in the flesh.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Love it. And you know, we wanted to have you on our show. We actually were thinking about you a long time ago. So remember, so Mikey Garcia comes from a background from being part of the culture of our company, but the biggest part is you also are part of our life. Like you have done some work for us. Well, not necessarily you, but your company has.
Sure.
Right.
And we were thinking about like, oh, you know, in the past, one day in the future, we'll have Mikey Garcia on and something with us. I don't know what it is. This was before podcast ideas. We weren't even thinking about any podcasts. And here you are in the flesh. So it's a little bit crazy.
Thank you.
You know, we've definitely, you know, enjoyed your guys' friendship, and you know, we love to work with you.
Thank you.
So obviously, when you offered, you know, to invite me to your show, I'm available. You know,
appreciate it. And I know that you drive from a little bit of a ways like us, you know, from the Inland Empire. You know, and sometimes these drives can be pretty crazy. For us, it was like an hour and 30 minutes. So probably about the same for you.
Yeah, a little more for me because I was out there a little bit further. But no, I mean, like I said, I don't mind driving, especially when it's for a good reason. You know, especially like friends and something that's positive. I don't mind the drive. I'll knock off a few things over here and then, you know, head back later. It's part of it.
Love it. Thank you.
So today our theme and Mike's idea, this is always him because he's a creative mindset, is wearing red. And what was the idea, Mike? Why red?
Are wondering why we're wearing red is because Mikey, he always makes people see stars. So I had to wear a star because you're always making people see stars. And then the red is just like boxing glove red. So I was like,
that outfit reminds me of the previous outfit I wore.
Okay,
for one of my fights. I was showing him. The material is very, very similar, almost identical to.
No way! Oh my god! So it was literally meant to be.
So you're gonna make it into shorts.
Right. Yeah, I saw you in the shorts.
Yeah, I have the shorts, the jacket with matching.
And that's why when I saw it, I was like, I have to wear this today. And then the stars, of course, you know, KOing people all the time. So we had to.
Do you ever miss? I mean, so you're retired now, right?
Retired from boxing.
Retired from boxing.
Wait, you're retired, and how old are you? Like you're so young.
I'm 35.
Oh my god!
Is that the average age for retiring in boxing?
You know, the age changes. It's mainly based on how the body reacts after so many fights, or how the body feels, you know, as a person, how he feels after a career, after how many fights. I've seen fighters that retire much younger.
Oh, wow.
At 24, 25, 26.
Wow.
Some stayed longer at 34, 35, 36. And then most recently, we've had a few fighters that have stuck around for, you know, 38, 40. So, I mean, it can change. It's just based on your body, how your body performs and how your body reacts to the training, to the fights. I chose to retire just because I was tired of the training, the regimen, the dedication, the time it takes. I just got tired of that. But my body, physically, I'm still healthy. I'm happy that I was not injured, that I never received a lot of punishment, and I'm able to retire pretty comfortable, you know, with all my physical abilities intact, and I'm happy with my career. And like I said, over everything, just happy that I'm healthy.
Amazing.
That's great.
So then I was shocked when you said, you know, 35 retiring, but that's a normal, basically an age right around there.
For fighters in the 30s usually is typical.
Okay.
Like I said, I've seen some fighters retire earlier because of the wars, the fights that they were in. You know, knockout losses where they really get hurt. They might retire younger. But on average, you know, in the 30s, mid 30s right now is where you're gonna see a lot of fighters retiring. I didn't retire because I was hurt. I just felt like it was time. I was done with my career.
And well, on that, so like even though it's normal, or that's like the age, you know, I think, you know, most you know, can every boxer, every individual that retires this early keep going? And I think that's one thing that we are inspired by so much in you, is that you have just kept going, even though maybe you're not exactly in the boxing right now, but you know, you have the gym, you have so many different things, companies, you know, charities.
Look, we retired from active fighting. But you know, I'm not retired. You know, I'm not sitting around on my couch all day.
Exactly.
You know, we actually, I'll stop by the gym, you know, and see the guys, the up and coming fighters. You know, and even if it's just a few words of encouragement or wisdom or whatever, you know, that can go a long way.
So powerful.
I still have helped some of the fighters who are up and coming, guide them, manage a couple of their fights,
Amazing.
link them up with the right promoter or the right
Yes.
network to help them grow.
Amazing.
My brother has his gym, and it's one of the very best gyms in the world
Yes,
with so many talent, so many fighters there.
Amazing,
In fact,
amazing.
we have, like I said, he has 3 fights this weekend,
Wow.
Okay.
all in Fresno. Main fighter Jose Ramirez, he's fighting his return fight on
Amazing,
Saturday.
amazing. Let's go.
So
let's go.
we're always busy, and
Yes,
even if I just come in there for support,
right.
but I'm always involved in one way or another.
Yes.
And then outside of boxing, we have other ventures and other things that we got
Right.
going.
Yes.
Keeps me busy in other areas as well.
Right. Yeah. That's
That's
inspiring. So
and
powerful.
I like how you keep going. Like
Mhm.
the fact that you can retire in the boxing, by 35, that
Sure.
also tells you a lot, because I wish I could retire in lending and mortgage and real estate.
Or real estate.
Because honestly, it's more mental for us. Like,
Yeah.
like so many complaints and clients, whether it's complaints or happiness or whatever it is,
Yeah,
because we deal with so much of the turmoil of the marketplace
I'm sure.
that it's a
Right.
lot different. Like we were even talking behind
Yeah.
the scenes about the real estate market, and
Yep.
you had said that maybe this is, what were you saying about the real estate market? What was your thought about
Well,
buying real estate?
No, so I've done a lot in real estate, or at
Yes.
least to me it was a lot.
Right.
My dad was the first one to kind of like push me to start buying some properties when I was start making some money. And I'm talking my first property I bought in 2011.
Oh wow.
And I bought it all on my
Wow.
own.
Yes.
Just I had good credit, I had a good down payment, everything.
Love
So
this.
it worked out. But it was my dad who kind of pushed me in that direction, because he had seen previous fighters who unfortunately maybe, mismanaged their money.
Yes.
And by the time they retire, they're almost forced to fight another fighter too, to
Wow.
try and, scratch up some money and
Mhm.
at least buy a house or something. So
Right.
Got
he
it.
pushed me to
Right.
start early, which I did, but I also saw opportunities to grow. And so I've done, enough to where I can also retire from boxing comfortably, because I do have, well established, real estate,
Right.
income and
Your
portfolio coming in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So that helped me also retire, because
Love it.
I have this going on for me.
Yes.
But right now I was telling you, I've done a few deals in the last few, months and whatever.
Mhm.
I still have one right now ongoing here in
Amazing.
Hawthorne.
Oh
Nice.
yes. yes.
So I'm
Congrats.
still
Right.
there. Thanks.
Get it.
And I kind of, this year I wanted to slow down a little bit.
Mhm.
I want to enjoy a little more of my time. I don't want to I just freshly retired from boxing. I don't want to be too
Right.
involved in
Makes
work.
sense.
Yes.
Kind of want to take a little break.
Mhm.
I want to travel a little bit more, spend some time with my kids, with
Right.
friends, with
Mhm.
family.
Right.
And just,
Well-deserved.
enjoy that.
Right.
And at the same time, kind of give a little break and let's see what the landscape of the real estate does in the next few
Yes.
months.
Okay.
Maybe I can find a better
Mhm.
deal later in the year,
Right.
or a few deals, and I can
Yes.
just go ahead and buy them and
Mhm.
sit on them.
Definitely.
So I'm also kind of just waiting.
right.
If the opportunity is not there, I
Yes.
can always come back
Yes.
just where I left off.
Exactly.
I'm not in need to,
That
to
makes so much
continue
sense.
working right now.
right.
I can afford to take a break. I can afford to slow down. And at the same time, like I said, enjoy my time,
Mhm.
travel, with
Right.
my kids and then family
Right.
and friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even with that, you still, like you said, you have your property
Right.
going in Hawthorne still
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
process. So there's still movement there, which is great. But
Sure.
like you said, maybe you don't need to invest all of your time right now,
Yes.
because you need that little bit
Yep.
of a break. You know what I mean?
The,
All
the
these-
last
Yeah.
2 years, I was really deeply involved.
wow.
Buying and flipping homes.
Yes.
I have a few that I've kept for rental
Mhm.
opportunities. I left
Mhm.
those for rental properties.
yes.
But then I was very involved in the flips, because
Mhm.
the market was doing so well,
right.
and it's still doing well. I mean,
Right.
when you buy at the right price, you're pretty much never gonna lose.
Right.
So it's done well. So I was busy, but it doesn't allow me to have time for myself to
Right.
enjoy, like I said,
Yes.
my family, the kids
Right.
and stuff like
Yes.
that. So I kind of made it a point this year to slow it down,
Mhm. Yes.
and
Yes.
enjoy my time.
That's
I like how
amazing.
you pointed out the fact of you don't need to do that, because there's a lot of people that are skeptics about buying real estate,
Yeah.
but they need to buy it
Yeah.
because
Right.
whether they're renting or they're
Sure.
stuck in a rut where they don't know how to spend their money.
Yes.
They just have it in their bank, and a lot of people
Yeah.
believe that saving money in the bank and doing absolutely nothing but just waiting for the right time. It's kind of like
No.
letting
Right.
money just marinate and sitting there for a
Look,
year. Like it doesn't
yeah,
sound so
quick-
good.
A story, quick,
Please.
sample.
Yes.
Back in 2007 and 8, when the market really went down.
Mhm.
I mean, some of the younger, kids might not remember. Some younger, fellas don't remember.
Yes.
But I remember.
Right.
And in 2011, I bought my first home, and the market was still pretty low. It might have climbed a little bit from the 2008, 2009.
Right. Yes.
You know, it was starting to show a little bit of sign. And I remember hearing a lot of people trying to advise others, no, don't buy. Right. It's going to come back down. It's going to drop again.
Yeah.
You know, and they kept holding out.
Yeah.
You know, and 12, 13 years later, and look at where we are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yes.
They should have just bought, you know. So it's always like, long term, we're always going to be in a safe place. If you buy it with the intention of holding on, you know, long term. If you're trying to do other stuff like I said, flips and stuff, you got to be a little more careful in how you buy and what price and everything. I mean, there's a few more details, but overall, long term, I mean, the market's always going to go up. So
I love that.
You know, some of the experiences that I've had have shown me that no matter what, I mean, if you hold it long enough, you're going to be good.
Yeah, it's so true too, because me and Mike always, when we train a lot of our people in sales and even people that we talk to, real estate never equals zero. Like you can invest in stocks, crypto and everything. That could one day go to zero, but real estate, no matter what, is still the best investment.
It's tangible. You know you have it there. It's a property. Either you're living in it and equity's going up, or you're renting it out, but it's there. You know, you never really lose long term. Like I said, you know, it's always moving up. It might go up and down for a few, you know, years. Sometimes if it's a little rocky, sometimes like in the 07, 08, 09, somewhere in there. Yeah. But then coming back up, it goes up. Yeah. And then you might see small little, you know, decrease here and there, maybe based on location, condition, whatever. Yeah. But overall, it's always a great investment.
Exactly. And even sometimes the bank, you know, like the whole bank system in Silicon Valley recently, how it failed, you know, and people are going crazy. And again, going back to what Eli was saying, that sometimes people, they think keeping their money in the bank is the safest way to go. I mean,
look at what happened to the bank.
But look at what happened to the bank.
No, I mean, if anybody has, you know, a good amount of money saved up, if you're saving up, stacking up your cash from your work or a small business or whatever, with the intent of doing something with it, that's fine. You know, save what you need to invest. Yeah. You know, whether it's to buy a property or maybe it's to invest in your own business, maybe grow the business, whatever it is, that's fine. Yes. But to just save it and hold it for, you know, what if, you know, something happens, what if, that's not the smartest thing to do. I've seen it, like I said, from my experience and from my dad's experience. You know, he had a few, you know, moments where he kind of lost on some money because he didn't understand, he didn't know. Got it. So I've learned from other people's, you know, mistakes or whatever. And overall, like, it's not smart to just hold on to money for such a long time without planning on doing something with it and without investing it.
Definitely.
I love that. And I remember me and Mike we were at one point when we started working with mortgage guys about 5.5 years ago. Has that been that long? We didn't have any real estate. Well, we actually had our primary residence, but we didn't invest because we're like, oh, we have equity, we're safe, we're sound, we're comfortable. And that was the issue, right? You're comfortable. And that's, I think that's the biggest thing that happens, right? Like
it happens. I've seen it so much. And unfortunately, we see it with even close friends or even, you know, family members that, you know, their goal has always been, you know, to buy your primary residence, your primary home. That's kind of like what's embedded, you know, in our heads, you know, from you know, our culture, from our families, you know, coming from Mexico over here, you know, the American dream, buy your home. Exactly. You know, so our goal is only one house. It's always been like, buy one house and you're set.
Exactly.
That shouldn't be the mindset. It should be, let's get the first one going, but then let's go after 2 and 3 and multiple, you know? Instead of just planning on one and I'm done. Because that's not enough. That's not like you're that shouldn't be your goal. That should be the first of the goals, but you got to keep going. What I see is they buy their house, and then if their job does well, their business does well, they start to you know, upgrade their lifestyle. But they're not planning to invest in more real estate or in another business or to grow. They instead, you know, upgrade their lifestyle with more trips, more vacations, you know, better cars and you know. But if you're not doing anything else, you know, you don't know if your business will continue, you know, thrive or you know, you never know. An illness, you never know what could happen.
It's very true.
And if you upgrade your lifestyle but didn't really invest that money, you might be in a bad place later down the road. So it's best to just invest early and prepare just in case something does happen later. You're already set. You're good. So if someone can save some money and put a down payment on the house, put another down payment on another house later, and eventually those houses, by the time you retire, they're all paid off. Because they're gonna get paid off by just the tenants.
So true.
And you got build equity right there. And I mean, eventually your rents go up. You're gonna make some money, cash flow from them. And by the time you retire, you got 4, 5, 6 properties. That should be the goal, not one house. They should be multiples.
Wow, so amazing. I'm like speechless.
You should be a real estate agent.
Right.
I tell my friends, I tell my close friends and family, because I love my family. I love my friends that are close to me. I try to advise, try to guide as much as I can. And I'm trying to, in a way, wake them up, and let them see that there's more out there. Don't get comfortable with just one and be happy. I mean, it's great. Congratulations, but let's keep going. If you were able to save, 40, 60 grand and put it down for one house, then why can't you save another 40, 60 grand in the next 4 years or 5 years or whatever and go after a second one and keep doing that? I mean, especially if they're young, if they're 25, 30, 35, dude, you got time. Just keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing that.
Yeah. And we get, again, we get so comfortable and we're so happy with ourselves when we have that one property, at least our culture, being the Hispanic culture, again, we lose sight of what we could really create, like what you're creating, what we're creating. You could truly go out there and don't let it just be that one property, And again, like you said, congratulations. It's amazing.
Yeah, great.
We reached our, our mindset, but let's keep going.
And it's also like I said, it's okay to upgrade your lifestyle here and there. That totally it makes you feel good. Motivates you to keep going. But don't lose track of the ultimate goals, of adding more properties or adding more to your business, growing in that way. Because it's sad to see somebody that is doing so well. And if something, changes, whether it's, circumstance out of their control. And then they're down to like, rock bottom zero. That's sad. And it's also good, just like, dude, you should have taken care of, or you should have taken, better steps, better decisions. Like,
having an asset to protect you just in case if they ever come.
And I think a lot of our viewers, if you guys are watching this stuff, this podcast, like realize the fact that money, it comes and goes. And if you're just having to sit and marinate in your account, it's not going to do anything. But like Mikey's saying, like you can invest in real estate. Like if you have 100,000, you'll be amazed how many people, Mikey, we speak with on a consistent basis that have money. And they're like, well, I'm not ready. I'm like, well, you don't own any real estate. Like when are you ready? When rates drop? Well, prices go up. When prices go down, rates it's just kind of one of those things that works that way.
Look, a few years ago, there was interest rates down to under 3% for some people. And there were still people holding out. Like, oh, no.
They're going to go lower.
They're going to go lower. Or the market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. I mean, if they would have bought something back then, they would save so much money. They're at 7 right now. You could save, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And had equity too.
And build equity. Exactly. But, it's just, we got to get our people to understand that, they got to stop being scared. Stop being afraid. If you listen to the right people and you find the right team that can guide you, go for it. Don't be afraid. I can see why people might be afraid because we're always taught, like I said, to be very conservative. Don't save for a rainy day. Save. Yes, that's fine. Just have a little savings. But if you have a big amount of money, don't be afraid to invest it, especially if it's in real estate, and with plans of holding it on for long term, you're going to be fine. Even right now with high interest rates, okay? Let's say things were to change, we can always refi.
Of course.
We can always refi for a lower interest rate later. I mean, what are you afraid of?
Exactly.
Let's get our people to understand that there's ways to do it and always try to be in the best position available.
I love that. So I have a question for you. So, you have a lot of push, like there's a lot of energy coming from you, and I'm kind of curious, what kind of background do you have? Because you sound so humble and you're willing to give out information willingly, like nobody's back there putting the needle on your back. Give me information. So what's your background like? What did you grow up like?
Look, I come from my humble parents. My mom and my dad from Mexico, from Michoacan. Immigrants, working, like I said, for the American dream, in search of that American dream. My family, we have a family of 7. I'm the youngest in the family. My brother Robert and I were born here in California, but my other sisters and my older brother were born in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So we grew up, with, strong roots, in Mexican culture and heritage like that.
Yes.
My parents, I remember I was, 5, 6 years old or whatever when they were still working the strawberry fields here in Oxnard, picking strawberries and whatnot. So we come from a very humble, background. We've reached success through boxing. Yes. My dad found success in boxing, and then myself, my brother Robert at his time. And so we've been successful through the sport of boxing, but we've never really forgotten, what it took us to get here. The struggles that my dad had to get through to allow us to have the future that we have, the opportunities that we have, and so I think we can relate to a lot of people through those struggles, through my dad's stories. I can relate to a lot of people and a lot of, kids and fathers and whatnot. So if I can give any advice, if I can help anybody, get up and move forward and reach their potential, that's kind of like what we're here to do. Yeah, that's the way I feel. It's like I owe it to them. They were supporting my career. Well, I owe it to them, to help them in any way, that I can. And if one day, I always bring this up. If one day later, down 20 years from now, somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, I heard this podcast, or I heard this speech of you telling people this and that, whatever." And, I took that, that helped me through this, or they helped me get this, or whatever it may be, but it helped them in a positive way. It touched them in a positive way. And it allowed them to accomplish one of their dreams or goals.
Right.
Then it would, be meaningful. It would be worth what I'm doing.
It's like that legacy feel, like you're leaving your mark.
It's leaving something. Yes.
That's so beautiful.
I mean, what good would it be for me to, keep all this, that I've learned and keep it to myself? Like, what is that gonna do?
Right.
If I don't share it, if I don't, if I don't give it, if I don't share it to people, especially people that I care and that they know me, if I don't share it with them, then, what kind of person am I that doesn't want to help someone?
Yeah.
I want to help everybody.
Right. And speaking about giving, you have charities every year. You have so many different charities.
Yeah, we do.
That's so amazing. We've been to some of these charities. They make our hearts melt when we go to these charities. It's for children. Sometimes it's for so many. You have so many different. I can't even say what they're for.
I'm always involved with different, charities and different organizations, foundations.
Right.
We've done things, for children. We've done things at children's hospitals.
Right. Yeah.
Toy giveaways for the holidays.
Huge giveaways.
For mental health. We have another partner that we like to partner up to raise awareness for mental health, suicide prevention.
Yes.
Powerful.
So I mean, a lot of things that need maybe a platform to be heard, to shine a little bit of light on them, to show them what they're doing, and they reach out to me and I'm able to do that for them, then I'm definitely gonna do it.
That's powerful.
We'll put together the event,
so powerful,
whatever that event may be, just to show that support, and at the same time, like I said, allow them to have a voice, to speak out, to get highlighted, and it's always for a good cause.
Always.
So, I mean, why wouldn't you be able to do something, if it's for a good reason, for a good cause?
And this sounds like, a lot of people want to do this, but a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people have businesses, they have money, and they just don't choose to do this for whatever reason they don't. And I can say this because, we have a lot of relationships and a lot of people who have funds and money and businesses. But, really, I only have about 2 of them that really have these type of events. One of them is our good friend, Dan Fleshman. And the other one would be you. And I even remember every time we go to your charity events, we're there and we feel so good just to give back to the community. And again, sometimes it's hard we don't have that set up yet to where we have a charity, but we know that when we do have it set up, we're going to be inspired by you, by Dan Fleshman, because you guys are the ones setting that. And again, it feels so good to give back.
I am very, very grateful for anybody that joins and helps, because it allows us to do what we're doing. Amazing. So every time you guys have come, it's like, damn, I appreciate it a lot, because
we appreciate
that helps us grow. That helps us, spread the word and do an event bigger and better and help more kids. And so.
Right, and they keep getting bigger too. It's like they keep getting bigger.
So it's always great to have more people join and help. If for whatever reason someone is unavailable, I totally understand that. Sometimes they're we got other obligations or work related, whatever it may be. That's fine. we don't take. I don't take it against them, or I don't see them in any other way. Yeah, sometimes people get busy, and that's fine. But like you have always made time to join us and help and be part of it. So we really appreciate you guys as well.
Of course.
And because it's for a good cause, it's gonna impact so many other people. In a positive way.
Right.
I mean, let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it because I think that's something that's gonna be those kids will remember when they're older 10 15 years from now. They'll remember that. They might not remember exactly my name or your name or your name. They won't know who it was, but they'll remember that there was this group of guys that came over here with nice cars or this or that, giving away toys and bikes and all this stuff. They'll remember that, and they'll be happy for that holiday. They'll be happy that season that they got something like that. It doesn't take much to put a smile on a kid's face.
Right.
I think that's so important too, because there's such an abundance of greed out in the world, and that leads out people to be like in self-solitude, and it keeps them away from building relationships and getting to know people more often. Like we got to know you more through these events, through your businesses, and through having obviously driven as well with the mortgage guys and Ambiance. So there's a lot of different things you're connected with, and that creates a big wave of so many different things. Not to mention, like I'm so impacted right now with, you said two things that are very impactful to me. You come from a background where you had your family picking strawberries. And you are just this world-renowned boxer that has so many businesses. You have a car business. I mean, I can sit here and name everything that's going on, plus real estate, and you're just so chill. and that's the coolest part, because you're not like arrogant. You're like, I'm not badass. I got all these things going on. You're not like that. You're literally like, everybody can do it. It's great.
It's just who I am. I mean, we're not loud. We're not trying to cause too much attention. The right attention for the right reason. Right. And that's it. I mean, even in boxing, my career, I was never outspoken. I was never loud. I was never one to be, calling out names. And I mean, could I have maybe achieved more? Maybe. I mean, especially right now with social media being so big, some of these kids promote themselves and they're making so much more money than the kids who don't do that. So maybe, but I still accomplished my goals in boxing. I accomplished more than I actually imagined. I accomplished the world title fights that I didn't imagine, getting. So I mean, that's just, who I am, and it's humbling to be able to see that I did do so much that I didn't imagine. But at the same time, it's like, okay, like I don't have to remind people. I mean, if you ask me, cool, I'll let you know. But that's it. Like,
you're like, I'm still the world champ.
We're
you should have brought your belt. You'd have been, check it out.
I'm still the same guy. I got my belts at home, and when I have friends that come over once in a while, damn, they get all, is this for real? Is this your? Yeah, these are the belts, whatever. Can I touch it? Yeah, grab it, put it on, take a picture. Are you serious? Yeah, go ahead, just throw it on, put up, hang it on your shoulder, whatever, take a photo, and
that's pretty amazing.
But I mean, for me, it's just like it's cool that if it makes them happy to wear it for a photo. I mean, that's what it's for. I mean, cool.
Love it.
Have you ever, when you grew up, have you ever felt like you were going to start impacting people's lives like the way you have recently?
Look, I think it was. I was probably back in 2009, 10, somewhere. I forget exact year, but I did they asked me to speak in Ventura County. It was at a courthouse. I forget exactly the reason, but it was I had a dean's list at college. I was in college still. My boxing career was still not, anywhere, at a high level. It was just getting started. I turned pro in 06, so it was like 08, somewhere in there. But I had, gotten good grades in college, whatever. And I was dean's list twice. So somebody hit me up, like, hey, do you, would you be interested in speaking to the kids over here, like troubled youth at a courthouse, whatever? And I said, yeah, that's, I think I can do it. I'd just taken a speech class. So it made me comfortable. Like, that's cool. Plus I was going to get points, I was going to get credit for speaking, and so it was like, that's cool. So I'll do it. So when I did, and I saw all the kids give me all their attention, they were really and these were like teenagers. And I was also kind of a teenager. I was maybe 19 at the time or whatever. But they were really focused and looking at me and listening to everything that I had to say. And that kind of showed me that, hey, I think I could do something like this as well, and you know, maybe help some kids or impact some kids, you know, in a positive way. And like I said, maybe sometime later they remember that somebody told them something, and it helped them overcome whatever it is, or reach their goals. So that actually did happen. I can pinpoint that being when I kind of like saw an opportunity of doing so. And that's why whenever I do have an opportunity, I always do it. I gladly do it. I've done many panels, and I've done speeches, and like I said, I'm actually doing one next what was it, Monday?
Friday?
Next week on Monday.
Okay, Monday.
I'm doing one on Monday at Moreno Valley College for one of the professors there. I did another one, I don't know, a couple years ago at the UCR. And so I mean, I've done it, you know, if it helps kids.
And I'm sure you get that same feeling when you're looking at, you know, because I know when we have you have the charity event, sometimes you have to speak to the crowd and say thank you for coming.
Of course.
You know, when you look into that crowd, I'm sure it feels exactly how you felt when you were speaking to those kids at that school.
When they give you the attention, and you can tell that they're giving you the attention, you know that what you're doing is gonna be impactful. It's gonna do something good. I even went back to Oxnard, you know, I don't know, a year ago or whatever, and we went to an elementary school. And some of the kids there didn't really know who I was. I mean, they're 5 years old. They don't know much about me.
Of course.
Some of the other students there living like in the first, second grade. And like I said, they didn't really know who I was. But I was able to get a hold of them by telling them that I grew up in Oxnard and that my parents picked strawberries right outside of these fields. And they're like, dude, my mom, my dad worked. I'm like, yeah, well, my parents worked right alongside. So that got to their attention, like, wow. And then they started talking about, you know, who I was and everything. And it just, I can relate to them in that way. It grabbed their attention, like, oh, wow. Like, if he's able to do it, you know, then definitely we can do it too. You know, so when you get their attention like that, that's when you know it's good. It's gonna turn to something good.
Definitely. And speaking about attention, so basically every time we go in the streets, we are seen because of your company, which is Shark Wraps.
Literally.
I mean, I don't know how many times a day that I say Shark Wraps because everybody.
Thank you.
You know, we get out of our and we get out of our cars and everyone's like, "Who wrapped your cars?" And we're like, "Shark Wrap, Shark Wrap."
Shout out to Brian because
Brian. I think he's watching the live right now.
He's probably watching. Brian
have wrapped our CEO. He has a couple of Ferraris. You guys have
definitely yes.
You've wrapped our Ferrari, our Tesla a couple of times already. And then the colors, they're so, you know, the colors that you guys can get are just so amazing. I've been to other places. They just can't get us what we want. And you guys always perform. And again, like people just, so we actually were at a party. It was Paris Hilton's party. And they send a picture of our Ferrari the wrap you guys did for us.
The green, the shiny one.
And she literally is like, whose car is that? Pick me up in that car. And so we literally picked up Paris Hilton, but it was because of the wrap.
It was
the wrap.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now, actually, after this, we're going to be going to see Paris Hilton right after this. And again, we started a relationship with her because of the wrap.
That's cool,
so
man.
It's so crazy. So we just want to thank you for that because your
great.
business has created business for us. It's created relationships for us. It's done so much for us.
It's intense.
That's why we continue to keep doing that.
I'm glad it's worked out well for you guys. And like I said, we appreciate your business because, you know, it allows us to keep growing and showcase, you know, a larger portfolio, you know, portfolio for all the cars that we work on. And I mean, it grows the relationship even more. You know, and again, like I said, shout out to Brian, you know, because he does a great job. You know, I'm his partner in the Shark Wraps, and you know, I'm trying to help him grow as much as we can. I love the cars. I love working with people, meeting new people, going on rallies, going on car meets. I mean, we love that car scene. You know,
we gotta go to another one soon too.
It starts with Hot Wheels when you're a kid, and then now you're grown up, and you can actually buy these type of cars and hang out and meet the people that have them. And you see people from all over, you know, different fields, different worlds, different industries. And so it's very cool to be able to do that. And allowing us to work on the cars through the wrap, you know, world that Brian and I have. Obviously, you know, it's a plus. You know, it's a plus that we're able to meet people directly and establish relationships and friendships, you know, because of the work that we do. And like I said, Brian does a great job. So it keeps helping us, you know, create more friends.
Well, you know, you've left a really big impact in the Hispanic community. And did you, when you grew up, did you ever feel like you wanted to be a boxer? Is that something you wanted in life? Or?
Not really.
Well, what did you want to do?
It's funny. It's different. I grew up watching my brother fight. My oldest brother, Danny, fought, but I didn't really get to see him. But I remember seeing my brother, Robert, and my dad was their trainer. My dad was a trainer at the gym, La Colonia Boxing in Oxnard.
Mm-hmm.
My dad also had Fernando Vargas at the time. He was, his fighter. And
Amazing.
so I seen their careers, grow from the amateurs to world champion, fighters.
Yes.
But even then, I still never really thought or dreamed that I would do it myself. I never thought I'd be a fighter. I always kind of thought that's something they like to do. Not me. Boxing was not for me. Like it never caught my
from the world champion.
it never caught my.
Like, what happened?
It never caught my interest like that.
Got it.
Then I was 13 years old. One of my nephews was starting to box. He was like 12 years old. And he started to box, going to a gym out here in the valley in Canoga Park, somewhere out here. And we went to go see one of his fights. We went to support him. Family, my brother, my sisters, we all went.
Yes.
And my brother Robert noticed that one of the kids from the gym there didn't have an opponent. I guess the opponent fell out or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So he looked at the kid. He saw that he weighed, whatever he did. I forget, 129 or 126 or whatever.
Okay.
And he was, I think, 14 years old. I was 13 or something.
Okay,
and he just signed me up. He says, hey, you're getting in the ring with him. Now, I was not in training, but we've learned a little bit because of boxing at the house, putting the gloves on, just play fighting.
Okay.
But I was not in training.
Okay.
But being that my brother signed me up like that, it was kind of like, I can't say no. It's embarrassing if I say no. They're gonna think I'm, little bitch or something. So, no.
Right.
So I said, all right, well, I guess we'll do it.
Yeah.
So I borrowed the shorts, I borrowed the shoes, borrowed, the whole gear.
No freaking way.
And we jumped in there.
Wow.
And we did a 3-round exhibition. They couldn't officially license it because I was not licensed. I didn't have a license to compete as an amateur. So they made it into an exhibition. But it was fun. I kind of like the one-on-one competition there. And I did fairly well. I think I did pretty good for not training, for that.
Yes.
So I said, you know what? I kind of like it. So that was like September of when I was 13. That was like September. A few months later, I turned 14 in December. And then in February, I did my first amateur fight at 14.
Wow. Amazing.
Just a few months after that initial experience.
Wow.
I did my first fight and I won, and I kept doing a few shows, amateur shows, amateur fights. I kept winning. The following year, I had an amateur tournament now. We did the Junior Olympic tournament. I'm 15. We had 9 fights by then, and we entered the Junior Olympic tournament, and we advanced all the way to the nationals. I made it all the way to the finals.
Amazing.
I lost in the very final on a 3-2 split decision fight. It was very close. I lost the fight. That was my first loss. I had like 15 fights by the end of the tournament.
Wow.
And it was like, okay, there could be something here.
Yeah.
Because with such little experience, I made it this far.
Right.
National level, silver medalist, national level at 15, in a Junior Olympic tournament, which is a very good tournament to be in. I'm like, okay, there could be a future here. There might be a career out of this.
Wow.
Nice.
So then I kind of started picking it up a little more focused on boxing. Throughout my high school years, I was always in tournaments. I was always training. Very dedicated to boxing because I saw potential. I saw a future. 2006, I turned pro and kind of slowly, moving on. Still went to school. I still went to college. I also did the police academy there in Ventura County.
Okay.
Because like I said, boxing was still not guaranteed, but it was doing well, but not guaranteed. So I wanted to have something to fall back on. Eventually, 2010 comes around. I get a good fight. Okay, we're starting to see some better fights. 2011, I get my first opportunity to fight on HBO, and then again and again, and I'm like, okay, now we can do a good career.
Yes.
So then I started to really focus on, then 2013 World Championship, and then more and more.
So
that's how it started.
Yes, congratulations. I
have a really deep, some 3 deep questions for you. So since you say you're open to being vulnerable,
sure.
Right? So name 3 fights. One being the greatest fight you've ever had.
Yes.
One being a regrettable fight, meaning like you wish it never happened.
Okay.
And one being the fight that was maybe you weren't prepared for, maybe it was just a bad experience or a bad ending.
One of my favorite fights. There's been a few that stick out.
Love it.
For different reasons. One of my favorite fights was 2017, fighting for the WBC lightweight title at the MGM.
Amazing.
The reason why that one was special because my dad had earned the IBF world title and the WBA title with his fighter Fernando and my brother Robert.
Okay.
But he always had like wanted to win a WBC title, being that the title has been held by world champion like Chavez and some of the greats, right?
Yes.
So he wanted a WBC title.
Got it.
I got to fight for that title in 2017. I won the title and I can bring it home.
Congratulations.
With, something that my dad wanted. So that one was special for that reason.
So special.
Wow. Then a year after that, another one that was really great was here at Staples Center when I unified the title against Robert Easter Jr. He held the IBF. He was undefeated. I was undefeated with the WBC title. We both unified. It was a great show here in LA.
Yes.
I had not fought in California for like 10, 11 years.
Right.
And so coming home, kind of like a homecoming party type of, and winning the fight and everything, that made it really special. That you had a lot of fans there. The Staples was sold out, and that was the feeling was great.
Yeah. Oh my god.
My fight with Errol Spence, even though I lost that fight, that was probably one of the best experiences because you had about 48,000 people in attendance at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, home of the Cowboys.
Yes.
We had 48,000 people. That was huge.
Wow.
Walking out to the arena and seeing all that support, the huge event. Like, dude, I was able to do all this. Like, this kid fucking from Oxnard fucking was able to, bring so many fans.
So incredible.
So those three fights are like the best. I can't really tell you this one's better than that one. Yeah. But for those reasons, those were the best.
Amazing.
You want to know
maybe one that
I
like,
regret?
Maybe
the last fight. I really didn't care for the last one.
Okay, yes,
got it.
Right.
I didn't care for the last one. It was, a fight that I should never have had taken part of. I did it almost as a favor because we needed the show and we were promised a world title fight for one of the kids in our gym.
Yes.
For Bam, for Jesse Bam Rodriguez, he was promised a world title fight. So I said, fuck it. I'll take the fight if you guys give him a title fight.
Amazing.
But I didn't really care for that fight. And it was only like a 5-week notice and we were not training. We were a lot of things were kind of like not well. But we still took it. And I didn't even want to fight no more.
Got it.
I had already told myself that I was not gonna do it no more. I kept telling myself, this is the last day I'm gonna be training. This is the last day I'm wearing these boots. This is the last day I'm wearing these gloves. This is the last time I'm because I already knew I wasn't gonna do it. As soon as the last bell rang, once that ended the fight, as I go to my corner and Robert, my brother's right there, and I tell him take the gloves off, right? And I tell him right there, that's it. I'm never doing this again. We're done.
Yeah.
Really, that's it. That's it.
Right.
And I didn't tell them before, but I told myself that. So I didn't really care for the decision. I lost the fight. I think I won the fight still. I feel like I did enough to win it, but either way, the judges scored it in favor of my opponent. And congratulations to him.
Right.
He took advantage of the opportunity and he won.
Right.
I didn't really care for that. So that's the one that I should have just let it go.
Yes. Right. Definitely.
And what else did you mention? Maybe something.
That was actually that one kind of fits in with both because it fits in with both.
Yeah.
So
actually, before we go on, how does it feel like when they tell you like you're gonna be on like HBO and you're just like, okay, because I know 45,000 people in a stadium, that's incredible, but then HBO is like worldwide.
When I first had my opportunity to fight on HBO for the first time, because I had like 5 or 6 fights with them. 2011 was my first one with them.
Okay.
And it was I was the co-main event for a Gamboa fight against Solis at the boardwalk in New Jersey.
Oh wow!
So that was pretty cool because now you get to fight at the boardwalk, which is we're known for a lot of fights. Yes, and it's on HBO. It's my first HBO appearance. Right. Yes, paycheck is good now. So I'm like, okay, like that was I was more excited for the paycheck than where I was fighting. Honestly, dude.
Right.
Like I said, that was 2011.
Okay.
And then I get to fight again in 2011 in June here at Staples Center as a co-feature. I was a co-main event for Chavez Jr. against Sebastian Spig for the title here at Staples Center. Yes. And again, HBO and it's a good paycheck. Yes. So I put that money and I bought my first house.
Nice.
From those fights.
Okay.
So
perfect.
That's how I made my money to buy the first house.
Oh my God.
That's powerful.
So that's what I was more excited about.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, look, other fighters would probably be more excited about fighting at those arenas because growing up, they've dreamt of one day reaching those those arenas and fighting in front of the fans.
Yes,
Mhm.
right.
I didn't grow up with that. I remind you, I didn't grow up with that. So for me, it wasn't really that huge.
Wow.
You know, it was nice, cool.
Mhm.
And hey, I get to fight HBO. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, most fans, most people that don't know boxing so well would always know HBO.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
it's
of course,
Showtime,
of
HBO.
course.
Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
pay-per-view, HBO,
Right,
Showtime.
yes, yeah.
If you're not on there,
Uh-huh.
you're probably not that good. Or you're probably not, you know, high level yet.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even though you probably are.
exactly.
But
yes.
because you're not on HBO or Showtime or
Right.
pay-per-view, a lot of
Mhm.
casual fans don't really know, you know,
Yes.
and don't kind of give you the credit.
Mhm.
So for a young kid, another fighter, you know,
yeah.
fighting on HBO and fighting on those
Right.
arenas,
Yes.
wow, it would be
Wow.
great.
Yes.
For me, it really wasn't such a big deal.
Wow.
It was more of just like, it's another fight.
yeah.
That's all I got to do. I got to win
Yeah.
this fight.
Mhm.
Cool, whatever.
Mhm.
But I was more excited for the paychecks. I wanted to buy my house.
Yeah,
I wanted to buy a house.
Okay,
I like
there you go.
that.
So
And
that's how it was.
And HBO back then, even though it's really big now,
You're right.
but like HBO back then was like everything. Like
Yeah.
in 2011, like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
HBO was like it still is.
They were
but-
doing. They were at one time. I mean, HBO was the
Right.
hub for the main
Yes,
big
exactly.
attraction.
Yeah,
for
I
big
remember
boxing.
that. I totally
At
remember
that
that.
time, you know.
Mhm.
Later,
Yeah.
I forget exactly what
Mhm.
year they actually stopped doing boxing. They went out on the
Mhm.
Boxing Day.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do
Right,
boxing no more.
right.
And then Showtime's still there.
Yeah,
Showtime is huge.
Right.
You got ESPN, you got
Yes.
Fox, you got all
A
these
bunch of
other
different
networks.
people now.
different
Yeah,
ones.
you got a lot of networks. You know, streaming with the Zone and a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, definitely.
But at one time it
Right.
was HBO.
Oh, yeah.
So
It was.
it was
It
cool
is.
to fight for HBO. I had a few of my fights there, like I said, and it was nice to be part of the HBO
Uh-huh.
team. And
Mhm.
like now people actually took
Mhm.
me like serious,
Yeah.
like, oh damn, you're fighting HBO. You
That's
must be
huge.
like,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Which was
big
cool.
deal.
It was
Right,
cool.
right, yeah.
But I was more excited for just
There
the
you go,
paychecks.
the
I wanted
checks,
to
there
keep
you
buying
go.
more houses,
Yes.
which I did. I was buying more houses.
Right.
You know,
I like
So
how you're
it
being
worked
so
out.
straightforward. It's
Yes.
so cool.
Such
So,
a-
so one final thing that we usually do with all our podcasts before we go is, what is Mikey Garcia 5 years from now? So even though you have this, boxing's retired for the moment,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
obviously you can say I might go back. I don't know, but maybe not. But what is your
No,
5 year
we know,
goal?
we know, no,
we
we're
know,
not
right?
going
But we
back.
know now. We're not going back.
I don't
But
plan on
5
going
years
back.
from now,
Right. We know.
but 5 years from now, what does Mikey Garcia look like in 2028? What are your goals, or what do you think will be done by then?
I think by then I will be more deeply in real estate because I really
Mhm.
see great opportunities in real estate
Amazing.
coming very soon.
Amazing. Yes.
I think even though we've done fairly well in the last few years and overall I have a good understanding of real estate and I've done well. I'm okay with what I have
Mhm.
right now. I'm comfortable with
Yes.
what I have,
Yes.
but I know there's opportunities and I want to grow more.
yes.
And at the same time help my close
Mhm.
friends and family,
Mhm.
grow.
yes.
as well.
Yes.
So I think in 5 years, I'll probably be double what I have right now in real estate.
Amazing.
I'll be double what I have and just helping
Mhm.
so many more people come
Mhm.
along with me.
That's so.
I think that's where that's my goal.
That's.
I love
I've
it.
told my friends like, you guys
Yes.
think I have a lot right now. You guys think
Right.
I'm
Right.
fucking great.
Yeah.
Wait, give me 5 years and you're gonna see
Hey,
me
you
double
heard
what I
that.
have.
You heard
Yeah.
that.
And not just me. Like I'm gonna bring people
Right.
along. Obviously, I
Yes.
want more people to come with me.
Yes.
I want
Love
them
it.
to be
Mhm.
comfortable and
Right.
successful and
Yes.
great, But for sure, I'm definitely gonna double what I have.
That's so powerful.
Wonderful.
So inspired. So inspired.
Definitely. So
Yes.
guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Our YouTube will drop with Mikey Garcia on Sunday at 5 p.m. It might not be this Sunday, might be next, but we'll let you guys know through our
Sure.
Instagram and Reels. Mikey, seriously, amazing to have you here.
Thank
and
you.
always an inspiration. And we
It was
all,
great.
if we're lucky and we're still doing podcasts 5 years from now, we might
we'll
do
re-
another one, right?
Yeah.
We'll come back.
let's talk
We
about
might do another one before that,
Yeah,
but
There you go,
we'll,
there
we'll
you go.
revisit this same
Yes.
topic around this kind of
definitely
conversation.
will, yes.
Love it. Love
And
it.
we
Sure.
thank you again for all the inspiration. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna buy more homes. We're just gonna keep
You have
going.
to, you have to.
Businesses, rap, so many different areas that
Definitely.
you can go.
And if
so-
people want to follow you, what's your Instagram?
Team Mikey Garcia on
Team Mikey.
my Instagram. I'm not as active, but I do go on it, live here and there and
love it.
post a few things here and there.
Yes.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not as active as others out there, but
definitely.
I mean, you can always reach me and
Yes.
see and follow me
Yes.
on Instagram.
Team Mikey Garcia.
Team Mikey Garcia.
yes.
Make sure you follow Team Mikey
Yes.
Garcia and
He's
Shark
always
Reps too.
posting his
Shark
charities
Reps,
on there.
Shark
That's
Reps
where we
too.
find his charity events and all
Yes.
this good stuff that we go through with you. So
For
follow
sure.
and thank you again. So
Thank you.
amazing.
Thanks a lot, Mikey.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, guys. Always fun.
Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.